All right, so get this, right? Have you ever thought about how the language we use could actually make our digital data safer?
Yeah, it's a fascinating idea.
We're going deep on some new research,
Oh,
and it compares Tamil and English for encryption.
really interesting stuff.
Our main source for this deep dive is, let me see, modeling and simulation of a Tamil language encoder for advanced encryption technologies.
So to really get into this, we need to start with how encryption works, like specifically something called the Advanced Encryption Standard, or AES.
Right, AES is what keeps your online banking info safe, your passwords, all that.
Exactly, but like anything else, there are always people trying to break in.
Okay, so how does that work?
Well, some of these people are actually computer programs, and they use what's called a brute force attack. They basically just keep trying every possible combination until they crack the code.
So, like, a bigger pool of characters would mean more combinations.
Yeah, like think of it this way. Would you feel safer with a 4-digit PIN or one with 10 digits?
Definitely the 10-digit one,
And that's where Tamil gets really interesting.
because it has so many characters.
Yeah, it has a massive alphabet of 247 characters.
Wow, compared to English's 26. That's wild.
Right, so that's exponentially more potential combinations for encryption keys.
Okay, that's a huge difference.
Yeah.
So the researchers were thinking, could this complexity of Tamil actually give it an edge in encryption?
That's the question.
So how did they test that theory out?
They found this really elegant way to connect Tamil sounds with prime numbers.
Hold on, prime numbers, like from math.
Yep. They basically created a kind of code, but within the language itself.
This is where it gets kind of mind-boggling for me. They took each sound in Tamil and linked it to a prime factor of, get this, the Hardy-Ramanujan number.
Interesting stuff.
I mean, I know prime numbers are important, but I don't get how they fit in here. So prime numbers, the Hardy-Ramanujan number. How does that make Tamil good for encryption?
Well, they basically took all those Tamil sounds and created this like web of relationships.
Okay, I'm with you so far.
And that web, it can scramble data in a really complex way. You need the key to unscramble it.
It's like a secret code, but instead of symbols, it's sounds.
Exactly. And this is where it gets really technical. They arranged all those sounds and numbers into this mathematical thing called a Galois field.
A Galois field. I'm not sure I've heard of that one before.
Yeah, most people haven't. It's a bit much to get into here, but basically just think of it like each Tamil sound locks into this code in a very specific spot.
Making it really tough to crack.
Exactly.
So how'd they actually test this out? I mean, did they really try to crack the code?
Kinda. They compared it to the gold standard, the regular English-based AES. They used what's called a runs test to see how random the encrypted data looked.
Hold on. More random is better in this case, right?
Yeah, exactly. More random means it's harder for hackers to find patterns.
So more random, harder to hack. Got it. Okay, so what happened? Did the Tamil encryption hold up?
It did, in fact. The Tamil encryption was way more resistant to those brute force attacks we talked about.
Really? No kidding.
Yeah, it consistently created much more random results, which means it's statistically way tougher to crack.
So what does that even mean for the future of cybersecurity? I mean, is
Hmm.
Tamil going to be the new language of the internet or something?
That's the exciting part. Think about it. Your smart home, your devices, all protected by this complex code based on, like, ancient languages.
That's kind of poetic, in a way.
Right. And it could mean faster processing speeds, too, because Tamil has so many characters, you could actually use shorter encryption keys.
So more secure and faster. Sign me up.
Well, there's still a big challenge.
What's that?
Translation. For this to really work globally, you'd need a way to translate between languages, without losing all that security.
Right, because not everyone speaks Tamil, unfortunately.
Hmm.
So, as cool as this is, there are still some kinks to work out. So Tamil is more secure, but what about other languages? Like, what about languages with even more complex writing systems?
That's what's so cool about this, right? This could be just the beginning.
It's like we just found this whole new world of encryption possibilities.
Totally. Think about it. Thousands of languages. And each one could have a different advantage for encryption.
So there's one research paper. It could change how we think about cybersecurity completely.
Absolutely. It really shows you how important language is, not just for communication, but for security, too.
Yeah, you don't often think about it that way. This has been a pretty amazing deep dive.
Definitely eye-opening. Who would have thought that an ancient language like Tamil could hold the key to better cybersecurity?
Right. It really makes you think about all the things we might be missing just because we haven't looked at them in the right way yet.
It's all about thinking outside the box.
Well said. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into, well, everything. Language, encryption, the future. It's a lot to think about. Until next time.